We're going to talk about the presence of MI, STEMI, and left bundle branch blocks together because both make our EKG look weird. And the left bundle branch block is weird, and the STEMI is weird. And what happens when they happen at the same time? And what does that look like on a 12 lead? And how can we distinguish between a left bundle branch block on its own and a STEMI in the presence of a left bundle branch block? With a left bundle branch block, and we're going to talk left bundle branch blocks, but this also applies to ventricularly paced rhythms, so V-paced rhythms, but more commonly left bundle branch blocks. It's really hard to determine ST elevation with a left bundle branch block because we have T-wave discordance, we have normal ST segment elevation in a left bundle branch block. The left bundle branch block normally elevates our ST segment without there being cardiac injury. So, how do we tell if there is a left bundle branch block and cardiac injury infarction going on at the same time? Well, first off, a brand new left bundle branch block is always pathological. It is always bad, always a bad sign. But how often do we have all 12 leads from your patient? Unless you're actively responding to your patient's cardiologist office and they have 3.5 years worth of 12 leads, we usually don't know if that left bundle branch block is brand new or not. So if we do, if we have evidence of that, a brand new left bundle branch block is always bad, always pathological. That's always an issue to call in a coach STEMI. Usually we're not going to know if that left bundle branch block is new or not. So here we're going to use our Sgarbossa criteria to determine whether or not there is actual cardiac damage, injury, infarction going on in the presence of an existing left bundle branch block. As a reminder, in left bundle branch block we have discordant T waves. The T wave is naturally going to go in the opposite direction of the QRS complex. So here in QRS, complex A, I've got an upright QRS complex. Well, I've got a discordant T wave, it's going to be negative. In complex B, I've got this negative QRS complex. Well, I'm going to have a discordant T wave, it's going to be upright. And here is where we get into these kind of issues because these discordant T waves are going to just normally affect the ST segment kind of elevation, depression in and of itself, and might be normal, but it might be not. We can have just a left bundle branch block, or we can have a left bundle branch block and some myocardial infarction going on. So this Sgarbossa criteria we're going to apply to left bundle branch blocks, and we can also apply this secondarily to ventricularly paced rhythms, V-paced rhythms. Okay, Sgarbossa criteria. Buckle up. Three things, and each of these three things has points assigned to it. So anything as we go through these three criteria, if we add them up, a total score of 3 or greater based on research, a total score of 3 or greater has a 90% specificity that your patient is actively infarcting. So the first one, it's 5 points. If you have this, you got an MI. Bam, there you go. So concordant ST elevation greater than 1 millimeter in leads with a positive QRS complex. So instead of discordant T waves, we have a concordant T wave. and that concordance is greater than 1 millimeter. So we have kind of normal ST segment elevation in leads with a positive QRS complex. So let's say lead 1 should be positive in a left bundle branch block. If we have ST segment elevation greater than 1 millimeter in lead 1, we have probably an MI, probably an infarction. 5 points. There you go. Congratulations. You don't have that. We're going to move down. We have concordant ST depression greater than 1 millimeter in V1 or V3, or V1 through V3, I should say. That's 3 points. That's again an automatic BAM. You probably have an MI. So concordant ST depression. So I've got V1 through V3, my QRS complexes in a left bundle branch block. Should be negative, will be negative. But we should have discordant T waves, so the T wave should be upright. But here we have negative concordant T waves with depression greater than 1 millimeter. That's weird. So if you see something weird, that's a sign. Your third one, it's 2 points. It's kind of that like, meh, maybe, possibly, maybe kind of, sort of, maybe kind of, probably, is excessively discordant ST elevation. And this is greater than 5 millimeters in your leads with a negative QRS complex. So let's go back to V1. Should be negative. You should have in the left bundle branch block. Discordant T waves, you should have an upright T wave. Well, this criterion says it's excessively discordant. So instead of being just like discordant and like you've got an upright T wave and that's cool, it's like upright T wave, super big. Oh my god, upright T wave. So greater than 5 millimeters. That's like one big box tall. So excessively discordant ST elevation. So all we need is a total score of 3 or greater to say, you know what? I think my patient, yeah, definitely has a left bundle branch block, but is also actively infarcting. So in these examples, this complex right here, we have concordant ST segment elevation. In a left bundle branch block, we should have discordant T waves. So we have an upright QRS complex. We should have a negative negative T wave. So upright QRS, negative T wave, but we don't here. We have concordance. We don't have discordance. So concordance with ST elevation, that's a BAM. You've got left bundle branch block and you are infarcting. So you can have both, right? 5 points right there, and automatic STEMI, code STEMI activation. Same thing here in complexes that should be negative. We have ST segment depression. We shouldn't have ST segment depression. In here, V1, V2, V3, we should have discordant T waves and ST segment. So the ST segment should be a little bit elevated, but here it is depressed. 3 points, and that's an automatic call to the cath lab. The one in question is excessive discordance here, greater than 5 millimeters. So we've got this negatively deflected QRS complex, but we have this excessively discordant ST segment and T wave. So it should be discordant, but it is excessively discordant. So here, we're gonna call it in and say, hey, what do you think about this? Because this is your 2-pointer, and this is kind of your gray area. So either of the other ones, we're calling it in code STEMI, concordant ST segment elevation. We've got ST depression here with a negatively deflected complex. Those are both like, yep, we're going to call it in. Code semi. The excessively discordant complex, we're still going to send that in and see what they think about it. That's kind of the gray area there. So that's Sgarbossa's criteria. We can apply this to left bundle branch blocks and ventricularly paced rhythms.